Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Inside the Creator. Welcome to the pod. Really appreciate you rocking and learning with me. Real quick, if you are a creator, builder, grower, and you have no problem giving your all, but find yourself just checking boxes and doing all of the things just to be doing all of the things, and want to instead create a vision that excites you in a way that changes the world within you and around you and inspire the people that you love, then this is the place to be. Lock in daily for mindset, emotional wellness, and self discovery for the creator in you. You ready? Let's get it. Welcome and welcome back to the pod. So glad you're here. Today we're talking about 4 self sabotaging habits that keep you from feeling powerful and aligned. Now, I just learned something this morning, which I know to be true, but I just really didn't realize it. When I say aligned, sometimes when we are saying we need to get into alignment, we automatically believe that if we are in alignment, we will feel more peaceful. We will feel more, just together, like gathered. And I was reading something or listening to something, an audiobook, and alignment does not necessarily mean that it will be more peaceful or that you will be more sure. Alignment just means that you will be where you need to be. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be peaceful. It may be a little rocky. And a lot of the time with alignment, the reason why it's rocky is because if you or when you get into your values and you figure out what drives you, what makes you tick, what you are aspiring to be, a lot of the times aligning with that means going against your environment, going against the world, going against what you were just doing yesterday. And the world, your current habits, they offer you an easy way out. And alignment may not offer that. And I just want you to keep that in mind when you hear the word alignment, that it's not necessarily going to make things easier. It's just going to make your journey more you. And just try to remember that. So, the 4 self sabotaging habits that keep you from feeling powerful and aligned. The first one is undervaluing your self awareness practice. You just have no clue what's going on with you, what you want, what you need, what you feel, what you desire, what you value. And your day is usually you waking up and feeling lost and not knowing what decisions to make, and you're kind of driven by everyone else's needs and wants and desires, which for me as a mom of 5 and a wife, it just leaves you feeling resentful. You start resenting being there for other people, right? And this now affects your relationships because you are resentful, you can be unkind. You can have hidden agendas. You can lash out when you don't want to. But if you have no clue what's going on within you, as well as what are your strengths, right? What are your weaknesses? What do you need help around? How do you feel from moment to moment? How do you feel today? Is that different from what you felt yesterday? When you are not aware of you and things that are inside of you that could affect your environment, this can lead to self sabotage. And for me, again, it looks like at times being resentful that everyone was on my list and I wasn't. And my husband used to always say, well, why aren't you on your list? Like, he always brought that to my attention. Like, yeah, you're doing this for me, you're doing this for the kids. And for him, it was like, but you don't look happy. And I'm like, no, I'm happy, because I'm doing everything for everybody else, and I'm trying to make sure everyone else is comfortable, and everyone has what they need and what they want. And for me, I thought that would fulfill me, and it does to a certain extent, but it's kind of a false. It's me running away from me, right? It's me avoiding starting the business, having more consistency in my business, because if I can just get up and run and go do something for someone else, I can say no, because I did this thing. I was, the kids needed this thing, and I went and did it. Yeah, and that took 2 hours, and I could have been focused on my stuff, but I didn't, because my stuff looks really scary sometimes, right? It looks like goals that I'm trying to achieve that looks very scary, and I would just rather go bake some cookies for my sons, right? Something simple like that. And it seems harmless. It seems like I'm being a mom of the year, and not really. It's me avoiding the deep work and the time to work on my purpose and my personal goals in my business to be able to impact the world that I want, how I want, right? So undervaluing self-awareness, that's the first one. All right, and the second one is not examining your values at all, right? Just really not knowing what you value, which is not the worst thing. The worst thing is living someone else's values unconsciously. And usually we do this with people around us, right? We're raised by people who value certain things, who do things a certain way, and we kind of just fall into that by default. And many times we don't really agree with it. It's just, this is how we know how to do the thing. This is how we know how to do it. And I think that it causes us to have a tug of war, right? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, because again, we're doing things that other people did it the way that they did it according to their values, and something in us is like, but I don't want to do it this way, right? I don't value this, right? This is not how I want to do it, or how I believe it should be done. And so I think that will cause self-sabotage, because again, it's being in default. It's just not even, it's not looking at our own value system and saying, you know what, I value these 5 things, and this is the way that I want to live. And yes, different from mommy, daddy, auntie, husband, wife, cousin, but this is my list right here. And really going into that. And a lot of times we just ignore that, and we go with what we've been doing, or what we've been taught, or what we're around. So that's number 2. Number 3, another self-sabotaging habit is just not being intentional. And I am really like this. For me, this is a thing, right? Not living intentional, having intentional goals for your healing and for your growth, right? And this is just having no real goals, no real plans, no real meaning in your life, nothing that you're cultivating or creating on purpose. Like being on purpose for a purpose that, even with wanting to grow this business and help other people bring their dreams, goals to life, I have been known to just not write goals. Like, I never really have goals. Really always hated the word goals, because it made me feel like, all right, I'm going to write this thing down, and I'm going to say I'm going to do this. And to be honest, I don't know if I've ever I don't know if I wouldn't know at the time whether I would fulfill this goal. And for me, it just would make me feel phony. It would make me feel like, I mean, yeah, you say you're going to do all of that, but I mean, for real, are you really going to do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. So it was always just this. I don't know if it was like fear of commitment, fear of whatever, fear of success, fear of failure. I just did not want to write down things that seemed like fairy tales to me, right? And so, in order to combat that, I realized that I don't have to, number one, call them goals. That's number one. And number two, even if I don't call them goals, I need to find a way to make sure that there is a place that I'm heading that is a part of my plans, that I'm living intentionally, that I'm going intentionally towards. And I need to know where that is. Even if, again, I think one of the issues were, okay, I'm going to get on this path and go in this direction to that particular place. I think that some of us, we don't like that because we also know that we could be going on this path and then it could split in two, and now we got to choose left or right. We get under the fork in the road. Like, most of us know that that could happen. And I think that's why sometimes a lot of us don't write down goals and go towards those goals, because we automatically think, I mean, I know this is not going to go as planned. I know there's going to be some hiccups. I know there's going to be this, that, and the next. And I don't know if I could deal with that. Like, I don't know if that uncertainty, right, is worth it. And number one, it is. And number two, if we know this internally, if we know that we're going to get on this path and it's going to go, and it may split, it could split into 4 lanes and we have to choose. We have, knowing that ahead of time, I think it's just something that we just understand that this is what it is. The goal, I'm pretty sure, especially trusting God and being led by God, I think it's just making the plans and doing our part and understanding that it's probably gonna not be look nothing like we thought it was gonna look like. Like, that's how I think now. I think, well, this is the goal. These are the things that I'm planning to do. So I do those things that I'm planning to do, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, this is probably gonna look nothing like I think it's gonna look. It's not gonna go exactly the way I think it's gonna go. But you know what? That's okay, because that's none of my business, right? That's none of my business. That's God's business and the universe and all, whatever's being laid out ahead of me based on the work that I'm putting in right now. So, again, that's another self-sabotaging behavior, is not living intentionally, and not living intentionally for your healing, for your growth, and towards your goals and your purpose. And the last one is self-compassion. Not practicing self-compassion. This is a self-sabotaging behavior because if you do not practice self-compassion, you are probably the type, like me, that when you get off track, when you're not feeling it, or you're just going through something, instead of saying, hey, it's okay, you got this, just take this day off, reconfigure, reset, you deserve to rest. Yeah, you don't do that. You immediately tear yourself down and beat yourself up and throw in the towel, and it just gets really, really dark really, really fast. And we need to make room for mistakes and missteps. And we need to see them as part of the journey, not a reason to say, well, maybe I'm not built for this. Maybe this is not for me. I think it's part of the journey to understand that, like, even for me, over the last week, I was supposed to record an episode for this pod last week, and it is Monday. I did not get a chance to record it Friday. I didn't get a chance to record it over the weekend, and I kept saying to myself, like, I am a week late, and I was about to not do it. Like, I was about to let a whole nother week go by because I just got discouraged because I let a whole week slip by. And what I didn't consider is that I was planning. I was rethinking things. I was doing some research. I just, with that and all the other obligations, the recording of the episode didn't happen. And I did not give myself credit for all the things that I did actually do. And of course, we don't do that. We just, I didn't do it. Okay, then I'm never doing anything ever again. I'm throwing in the towel. That's it. I am that ridiculous. And like I was saying, we don't view our missteps and mistakes as growth. And it is. And another thing that I was learning as I was listening to this book this morning is about wisdom and what wisdom really is, right? A lot of the time when things happen to us that we don't like, or we cause things to happen to us that we don't like, we go into a regretful place where we're like, I don't believe that this happened, or I don't believe I let this happen. Whether it's someone else doing something wrong to us, or something, or ourselves doing something to us that we kind of knew what happened, but we did it anyway. Wisdom is the fact that it happened and we learned from it. We learned from it. And that is the uncomfortable part of that. And as I was listening to that, I'm like, yeah, this is why a lot of people they don't understand what wisdom is. It's literally going through the crap and coming out of it with something that you learned. And I think it's going through the crap is what we don't like. We don't like the fact that, yeah, I'm wise now, but why did I have to get wise by going through that? Like, that was absolutely crazy. But that's where we get our strength from. That's where we get our wisdom from. And that is what makes us wise coming out the other side. And again, with self-compassion, when we don't have self-compassion, there is no margin for error. We just do not allow anything, like any type of movement or motion or progress that is not perfect and pristine and or being seen or being acknowledged. It's just not enough, and it is a reason for us to turn inward and be like, you know what, you're not good enough, you're not fast enough, you don't record enough, you don't create enough, you're not enough of a mom, you suck as a wife. Like, it just goes into these places when we don't build space for all the things in our progress and in our process. And that's, to me, what self-compassion is just building a space where all the things happen, where we're moving, where there's motion, where we got it, we just, everything is clicking and clacking. And then there's days where it's just not, where it's frustrating, where you just want to cry, where you just want to give up. And then you give yourself a big hug and you take a bath and you meditate, walk, I don't know, drink some wine, I don't know. And that happens, and then you get back to the creating, and then it's just the space for all of it and seeing the value in all of it, seeing how you can grow with all of it, and integrating it, and just seeing all of it in its totality as your journey, and your journey to success, your journey to your higher self. And yeah, that's how I see it. And those were the 4 self-sabotaging behaviors. 1, undervaluing a self-awareness practice. 2, not examining your values at all and usually taking on others. 3, not living with intention, with goals, going in a specific direction. And 4, not practicing self-compassion. Those are the 4 self-sabotaging habits that keep you from feeling powerful and aligned. And I am complete. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Wow, you are at the end of yet another episode. I truly hope this has helped you to move closer to living fully in your purpose. And if you'd like to learn about the 3 creator levels, discover where you are and how to flow and grow through each level, go ahead and grab that in the links. And if you'd like to work with me privately to clarify and execute your vision as soon as yesterday, please reach out at info@aprilterrell.com. And remember to be where your feet are. Stay present, as you cannot change the past, and the future depends on how well you can use and share your gifts today. Stay focused, stay locked in. You got this. It is happening. Just keep going. See you in the next episode.